Just a little bit of info about me. My name is Cassandra Gibbs. This is currently my senior year at California Lutheran University. My major is in multimedia, and I'm emphasizing right now in kind of terms of web design and graphic design. I use Illustrator heavily, and then I am minoring in technical theater.
Mhm. Nice. That's awesome.
Thank you. And then, and the purpose of this assignment is we're just trying to gain valuable intelligence, such as people who are working in our environment of fields that we potentially want to get into. We're trying to reach out and actually talk to professionals who are in the field and really gain knowledge of, how do we start in this field, or is this field that we want to work in really, what we're expecting, or is this something totally different? We're going to jump into once we graduate.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. I think those are really great points because I remember when I was studying, I did not expect the things that I experienced after I finished my studies. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about it.
Thank you. So I have a total of 11 questions. So first of all, Julia, can you please tell me about your career and how you arrived at your current position?
Sure. So I am originally from Germany. So I studied design. I studied industrial design in Germany, which does not really have to do a lot with what I'm doing right now. So, studying industrial design, I have realized that I have a passion for graphics. And so I got into graphic design. And at the moment, I'm practicing packaging and branding most of the times. And I'm also doing educational content for Adobe and my own YouTube channel.
Nice. Can you describe what's your typical workday?
My typical work day is in the morning. I usually wake up, try to set up my studio. I have a bunch of lights here, cameras, and I'm doing streams almost on a daily. So it's really exciting. And so that's one of the first things. I kind of get ready, set up my studio. Usually I do some social media in the morning, answer emails. And then during the day, I'm doing some client work and also doing some educational content, depending on, what kind of work is there. So yeah, it's always a mixture of different things. And I really love working on different projects at the same time. It makes it really exciting. So that's something I really recommend if you want to work as a freelancer. It's really cool because you can actually, work on multiple things at the same time, which can make it really exciting and really, different. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Going off from what you were saying about finding, some of your exciting aspects of your job, what are more exciting that have driven you to stay in the career path you are in now?
I would say the successes of the branding work, the packaging work that I'm doing are actually what makes me want to stay. The result, the printed result, if I see it on the shelf somewhere, if I see the ads printed and I'm driving by and I see my work really, really large. Recently, I had the chance to work with Panda Express. So we did some ad campaigns for Los Angeles and Vegas. So it was really exciting to kind of drive by in LA and I see my work there, an image that I've been retouching for hours. And I think that makes it worth it, kind of having this recognition and having good feedback, having positive results. And of course, getting paid for what you're doing out of passion is also really great. And I think it's a very important point. It's really rewarding to be actually well paid for what you're doing. So yeah, those things I would say.
Nice.
Yeah, and you can go
Um,
buy yourself some nice things. So
Definitely. I think that's what everyone loves. But not only should we focus on money, there's the passion behind it. And I really can tell from you, you absolutely love what you do. And you have this great passion.
yeah, definitely. No, I'm really, really happy. And it was a big struggle for me to kind of start and get going and really be able to make money with that. Because people say, yeah, it's all about passion, but it really is not. Because once you are in the position where you have to pay your own bills, you end up, if you're not passionate enough, if you're not patient enough, you won't be able to really proceed and, have the patience to really get going and to really get clients and to really get work. The business part of our being a designer is really, really important. And I feel like it's something you don't necessarily get taught at school. So I feel like it's something that you need to learn while you're already in school. Do some freelance work, do some projects for maybe friends or parents' friends. So it's really, really helpful to get that kind of insight right away.
Yeah. You talked about you studied in Germany before. What aspects of your education or training made you more capable or marketable in the field you're in now?
Well, I have studied industrial design, and it barely has to do with what I'm doing right now because I'm mostly working I'm creating graphics basically. And my job in my university was more concentrated on creating three-dimensional objects. So it will be working in 3D programs, it will be working, 3D modeling and actually creating prototypes of things and testing them. But the whole process, the design process of, finding a need, then creating a product or solution for that, then user testing over and over, creating new prototypes over and over until the product is ready to go. I feel like that process is something that I also can implement in my career right now, in my practice, because as a graphic designer, essentially what I do is when I work with clients, I suggest them some solutions, then we'll find a better solution and create a prototype, find a better solution, and then at the end we have the final result. So I feel like that kind of has this relationship of the process of the design. I feel like that has played an important role.
You've mentioned before you've done branding. I as well have gone, dipped my toes into the pool of like really wanting to explore branding. What advice would you give to me, trying to enter this field of branding and product design?
Yeah, branding is all about understanding the needs of the client. So you really need to be able to read right away what the client needs. And also, it's all about compatibility. You have to see, and you have to also think of the perspective of the client. Are you the right fit for this job? Because sometimes I had the case where I had this client conversation and our discovery meeting, and I felt like I'm not the right designer for them, so I would recommend them someone else. Just recognizing the need and recognizing if you're the right fit, if you can really do the job. I feel like that's really, really important, and not seeing it from an egoistic perspective, but seeing it from bringing them an actual good solution for their needs. Yeah, I feel like just empathy, a lot of empathy, a lot of understanding of what the person needs or the company needs, a lot of understanding of the user, of the actual user of the product. And essentially, when you're designing, you have to make decisions based on the user, not of your own opinion or your own taste. Because essentially the product that you're creating is made for the user or made for the client that you're creating for. Just being able to leave your own body, being able to leave your own needs by side and trying to concentrate on the needs of the actual user.
Yeah. Before 2 summers ago, I actually had an internship with the Kingsman Shakespeare Company, and I did their social media. And so I had to revamp their social media. And it definitely was a struggle to really disconnect from, oh, this is what I want to do as a designer. This is what I envision. And instead, I needed to listen to what the client and what the company were like, no, this is kind of the way we want to go, and really trying to execute their vision and always trying to insert myself and saying, no, instead I want it like this. I feel like I want it.
Totally. Yeah, it's a very big thing. Never, even if you like something, if you feel like something that you like will work with that specific design, never argument or never reason it from your perspective. Find another reason for your design decision. So maybe say, hey, you know what? I think for your audience, it would be great if we use this typeface, which by the way is my favorite typeface, but you know, just just the reasoning of your design decisions needs to be very you know from a perspective, not from your own perspective, but from the perspective of the user, right?
Yeah. What are likely career paths for someone such as me trying to start in branding or kind of leaning into product design? Well, what are other career paths like I can explore?
Yeah, I see three very clear paths. One will be a full-time employment with the company. It's where you would concentrate on just one project for the whole period of your career. So you will concentrate on one company and kind of dive deep into that, deep into the different aspects of the branding. So it can be social media, it can be product, it can be any digital products, anything that they're producing. So that can be one path. Another path will be working with an agency. So you will work on multiple projects at the same time, probably, or at least you would have a lot of different projects to work on over a period of time. So that's also really exciting. Working with agencies is always very fast paced. So you would always have to create results really, really quickly. And the third path that I see is working as a freelancer. This is where you can kind of go a path similar to what I'm doing. So I have multiple ways that I'm approaching at the same time. The educational way, where I'm working with Adobe, then I'm working with my freelance clients who reach out to me through my portfolio and so on. So smaller branding projects, that's what I'm doing. And on the third thing that I'm doing is kind of promoting myself and creating an online presence and maintaining it. It's also kind of like a third job that I have. So those three things is basically the path of a freelancer. And there's a lot of possibility these days. There are a lot of freelance jobs that you can approach. So yeah, I chose this path for myself, but if this path is not the best, if you're not if you're trying to commit to something, or if you're trying to have some security in your life, because my career is very like a roller coaster. So there will be months where I have a ton of work, and there will be months where I'm like, okay, so what am I doing now? What am I doing next? So this is where I'm kind of trying to find, the balance of having work consistently. So yeah, that's kind of a challenge being a freelancer. But yeah, those three paths: full-time employment in a company where you'll be working as a full-time designer on one brand, then working for an agency, which is where you probably will work in a team with different designers and working on different projects, very fast-paced, and working as a freelancer, which is a roller coaster, but exciting.
Yay, thank you so much. You talked before about having empathy. What are other qualities of someone who is like a star performer would be in this occupation?
I would say seeing things from far, kind of zooming out and zooming in at the same time. Not at the same time, but being able to do that, kind of like when you're having a file in Illustrator and you're zooming out and you see all the white space that's there and that you have to balance, and then you're zooming in and then you're actually going into detail and adjusting those things. So I feel like as a designer, you really need to be able to see things from far away and then being able to jump and work precisely on a project. That's one of the biggest qualities. The second biggest quality, I would say, will be empathy. Of course, you need to always keep in mind what you're working for as the end goal. So that's the second kind of thing, to kind of keep your mind clear and really see the objective of the project in the back of your mind all the time. That's sometimes challenging because projects can get really complex, and you're working with multiple people sometimes, and everybody has their own sauce that they're kind of bringing into this dish. So so yeah, those two things I would say. And then the third thing I would say is an open mind. So thinking diversively, or diverse thinking. So thinking in different directions, basically not being stuck in one path, but considering multiple options and then seeing what's the best option, kind of finding your way through that. So yeah, those three I would say are the most important ones. And yeah, of course, not losing the creativity, always knowing how to maintain the freedom of mind, and how to not get stuck in things, and being able to kind of reflect and step back.
Oh, All right. I've watched actually a couple of your what would you call them, like kind of lessons and a couple of your lives. I know you use Adobe Illustrator very heavily. Are there any other sort of programs or applications that would also be that have been beneficial for you?
Yeah, you know, these days it's very interesting. Adobe has a range of different products, and I am using Illustrator on a daily, probably a couple hours a day. But I love the combination between different software because it can really give so much more value to you as a designer and for the product itself that you're creating. Your design can, you know, can become so much richer. And the experience of your design can be so much richer if you're using additional software. So what I use is to create animations. I use Adobe XD. So that can be really, really interesting to play with. It's a really, really cool software. So you can literally drop in your designs from Illustrator into the SCC library and then open them up in XD and create some cool animations with Auto Animate. I love doing that. It brings some movement, some motion into your design without necessarily getting too complicated. Then I love using, when I'm creating packaging, I love using 3D software, which is called Adobe Dimension. And so basically there you'll be able to place your design on a 3D object and see how it looks from all the different perspectives. That can be really, really amazing because it makes you a better designer if you are able to understand how your design actually works and how it looks in the end, on the end of the user. So that can be really helpful. Then of course, Premiere Pro, creating some videos. Yeah, I also use InDesign if I'm working on magazines or brochures that can help you with the layout of things. So every single application has their strength, but putting all the strengths together will create this amazing experience of a product. And of course, Photoshop. Oh my God, I almost forgot Photoshop. But I use Photoshop to retouch mostly, or create some effects, or create GIFs. So yeah, I would say a combination of software is always the best.
And then you've spoken also about how you're a freelancer, you're an educator with Adobe, and then you're also trying to upkeep with your social media. Any tips on how you're organizing all that time? And then how are you also, with your work life and your social life, how are you also organizing that?
Um, at the moment, my work life and my social life are more like a feeling. So if I'm feeling too overloaded, I'm trying to take some time off and trying to, travel, go camping, go for a walk. I have a beautiful dog, so I'm so thankful for her. She always makes me go outside and kind of reflect on what I'm actually doing, what my goals are. Um, yeah, my plan. I would not say I'm the most organized person. My plan is usually week by week, but I'm always kind of keeping the goal in mind of what I want to achieve. And if I feel like something is not right, if I feel like something that I'm doing doesn't bring me joy or pleasure, I am trying to step away from that and concentrate on the things that I'm actually passionate about and that bring me energy and that easy for me. So some things that I'm working on are so easy for me to do, and I spend very little time, and I create amazing results. But some things are where I have to struggle and where I have to kind of bring so much energy into that, and my results maybe are not the best, although I've spent so much time and so much energy on that. So always make sure to concentrate on the things that are easy for you. You will notice that some things are easier and some things are a little bit more hard for you. So yeah, that's a very, very important part. Yeah, usually I write myself a to-do list of about 5 things that I want to achieve in one day. And I always try to balance the different things: education, freelance, and online presence. I always try to balance them so they all keep kind of going and they all move forward. Yeah, otherwise just trying to reach all the deadlines and trying to be on time. That's basically one of the most important thing, is being on time and delivering on time. That's everything else doesn't really matter. If you have a deadline, you really have to be on time. Yeah.
So I've heard you saying so many great things, having the passion, you're getting paid, you're driving by and you're seeing your product, you're seeing a billboard of your artwork. What are some of the least things you like about your job?
Um, so working as a freelancer involves a lot of emails, a lot of proposals, a lot of paperwork. So that's probably my least part if I have to write a proposal for clients that are not very serious, maybe clients who are just trying to get a pricing and who are pricing multiple people at the same time. I just don't like wasting my time on that. And I wish there would be a better process to kind of filter out. I'm working actually on that. To find a better process for myself to filter out people who are not very serious about their projects, who just want to get a pricing or who don't have necessarily the budget. So I'm working on that, and my solution for that will be probably creating a more of a high fidelity website, so that people kind of feel a little bit more intimidated and think twice before they contact me. So I prefer that. I prefer someone is really, really sure about working with me. So yeah, I would say that's my least favorite part. But besides that, I really, really love what I'm doing. So it's fun.
Okay. And then for my last question, if you could go back and do anything different on the career path you are now, what would you do?
I would not study industrial design and waste a ton of money because it's not what I'm doing right now. And I have wasted a lot of money on my studies. Not that I don't want to discourage you from studying, but you really need to be sure what you're studying. Otherwise, it's a pain, especially if you don't have parents who help you, if you have to finance it yourself. Yeah, be sure what you're doing. And also, there is a lot of material online so that you can educate yourself in the direction that you want. Right. So sometimes in school, we have subjects where we're like, I'm not sure if I like that, if that's interesting to me. Make sure to understand and reflect and to really know, okay, that's what I want to do. And it's worth, the money, it's worth the time that I'm spending.
Nice. Thank you so much for your time. I definitely learned a lot. This is definitely a field that I've been testing out the waters, and I've been, do I want to or not? And you have definitely just been a ray of sunshine. And thank you so much for all your knowledge and you choosing the career path to be an educator. You are doing a great, awesome job so far.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And good luck to you and everyone in your class. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I will for sure keep following you on social media, and I can't wait to see what else more you do.
Yeah, of course.